In Biz at Belfast 89 FM, the feature that's all about business and for business in and around the city. You're very welcome to today's feature. One of the biggest challenges for any startup business anywhere is raising capital to do what needs to be done in the early years. So I'm joined today by Jenny Irvine, and Jenny is the CEO of Raise Ventures based in the Cathedral Quarter, and they specialise in supporting startup companies to attract potential investors. So Jenny, you're very welcome to the feature today.
Hi Michelle, thanks very much for having me.
So Jenny, this is a really real problem. A lot of traditional finance houses are not really that interested in small startup businesses until they're over that sort of risky hurdle. So how do you guys help?
So our Raise Accelerator Program comes into that earliest stage where we've got founders that come up with a tech solution to a problem that they've identified in industry, normally in the legacy industries such as finance or cybersecurity or insurance or recruitment. And they go through that journey, which takes a period of time of building a technical product. It's not like a pen or a book where you can source the raw materials quickly, make the thing and sell the thing quickly. It's technical product takes time to build, it takes time to develop, and it takes time to actually then take it out to market to their customers. So we come in and advise in terms of both the business education across, as they might not ever have been a CEO, they might never have only been in industry in a particular sector. So we look at product development, sales, marketing, finance, go to market, but we also bring in the added element of the investment.
So what, when a company comes to you, what will you have expected them to have already done?
They will have the idea, they've put some framework around it, they've maybe talked to some customers, and they maybe will have reached out to a technical developer to start building the product. And that's really the sweet spot where they've started to build something, but they're not quite sure then how to complete that, how to make it a marketable product and a sellable product.
And you then take them through, I take it, a series of workshops that sort of improves their knowledge as well as thinking about who might actually invest in this. Is that right?
Yeah, so we run an 8-week sprint really that covers those key elements of the business, but we add to that, and nobody else is doing this in Northern Ireland, the investment piece, whereby we teach them about cap tables, term sheets. We let them see what an investment kind of journey looks like and what to expect.
Because the investors, I assume, use that language. So when they're talking to your potential customers and clients, they're actually using that language, so they really need to understand it.
Yeah, very much. You're trying to balance the playing field across the table where the founders are not only pitching their business, but they know what to negotiate on. It's a sales process. They're selling part of their company in return for an equity and investment into their company. And if the other side of the table's talking of terms that they don't understand, how can they put their best foot forward? So we skill them up.
And Jenny, are our companies here in Belfast and Northern Ireland as a whole, are they attractive to investors? Are the investors normally from here as well, or do you find that they come from elsewhere?
We do have plenty of founders in the tech sector wanting to develop companies and some really good quality companies, and some have been around for quite a long time, and there's been a wave of lots of new companies coming to the forefront. From the investor side of things, there's not maybe as many of those, unfortunately. Some of the other cities globally would have successful exits, and that creates investors to come in and support. We call it pay it forward.
And that's a really interesting terminology you use. I mean, what do you actually mean by that when somebody pays it forward?
I think it's probably comes from America, probably comes from Silicon Valley. It's very much that you've been successful. People have helped you along your way as a founder to maybe exit a company and make money, and therefore it's built into their DNA that they go back out and help the next generation come through, whether that be advice, knowledge, expertise, connections.
And generally, do you have a fairly good success rate? I mean, in terms of your brokering and matching process, and businesses now, for example, that are on your books, if you like, have they got a reasonable chance of getting that investment going forward?
I mean, every startup has their own individual journey, but we have a good success rate in terms of companies that come onto the program and remain active. We now have over 20 active companies that have gone through our program. And then from that, we have 7 that have raised early stage seed investment. And that would be from, we call it friends, families, and close, close networks. And it could be anything from £10,000 up to £250,000, depending on what they need and when.
Yes, and that's not to underestimate the hard work it actually is to raise finance from family and friends, because sometimes that can actually be a harder place to start. But it's not to say if somebody has a few pounds in their pocket that we wouldn't say yes. So if people want to find out a bit more about what you do and the programmes that you're running, Jenny, where should they go? Is there a website they can go to?
Yes, if you just check out raise-ventures.com, you'll find out more about our Accelerator Program, and it's open at the moment for autumn applications.
That's it for this week, all about raising money for startup companies. Until next week, take care.